morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Indie Dev, the official podcast of Graphite Lab. I'm your host, John McCullough, and I'm here with all these artists in the house. It's just a whole art palooza. Art's everything. Art's all over the place. We got Ben Sievers and Matt Stevens, in-house artists here at the Graphite Lab.
Howdy.
How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Good. What's the deal with how's Monet doing? What's Picasso up to these days?
Pretty sure they're dead.
See, I don't know. No, I'm not an artist.
I mean, they're probably in the... I don't know if they're cremated if they're buried.
I suppose there's a...
I don't know. You know, Picasso died in what, 80s? No, that was Salvador Dali. He died, I think, in the 80s. If you think about
I don't know these things. I'm not an artist.
They didn't pass not too long ago. If you think about it.
Yeah, like
that period of time wasn't that far away. But everybody thinks it's like 100, 200 years away.
Is Andy Warhol still alive?
I don't know.
No, I don't think he's still alive.
If he did, he just now croaked.
You know, actually bringing that up is interesting. I just saw an article the other day about they found a floppy disk of Andy Warhol, like some like Amiga computer or something had commissioned him to do some digital artwork to like display the graphical awesomeness of their crappy computer, and they found it all this weird like almost collage kind of stuff, but all like super like RBG like crazy colors and all kinds of things. It was pretty neat.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Actually.
But they like never used it or anything. I was like. Just some dude had like, oh, what's on this floppy disk? And
you sure they didn't forge that?
I mean, they could have.
Maybe.
It was signed in pixels, so it's just, because it was mostly like pixelish art, so it was pretty cool.
The first pixels by an artist.
Cool. So Ben Sievers, you've been working with a whole bunch of pixels lately. We've been doing like a big old animation pass on Hive Jump there. And I think it's all looking really fantastic. So do you want to tell people, like, I don't know, where do you go for inspiration? What was because you haven't really done like pixel art like this before,
yeah,
right? Before we
like
started
this.
working on this.
Yeah.
So what's it been like learning some of that stuff? What are some techniques that you've observed?
A lot of it's through. I mean, because I've played old games on like Super Nintendo, and earlier and stuff like that. You know, like I've played and dealt with, seeing games that look like that.
Right.
But at the time didn't really, look at them critically or think, play around with it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But more recently I've been looking at a lot of the current big Kickstarter hits like Hyperlight Drifter and this Hearthforth Alicia game and Duelist that have been coming out and really, looking and seeing how they've done, their colors, the palettes they're using, the way they're animating, the level of detail, and kind of trying to put that into it. Just cause, and looking back even, the Little Marine that we've been working on, I looked a lot at like Samus and different, Metroid kind of visuals to get that to look good. And even for some of the environment stuff, looking at those old like Metroid games, because those, that alien cave atmosphere is what we're going for.
Mm-hmm. But you're not like limiting yourself to just like 16-bit color or anything.
No,
just using whatever.
There are a lot of people that like go super purist in those senses, or like there are a lot of like video game or like pixel art challenges that some websites put on that are like. The one that just happened was like within the confines of Mega Man, like redesign Mega Man. Same amount of colors, the same sprite size. Like just try to give it your own style. And some of those come out really cool. And like given those limitations, some people can make really amazing things. That it's like, whoa, like it's the same as like Mega Man 1, the same sprite size, but it looks like really amazing. Like it's so much more detailed and just like it's really interesting what people can do.
Do you guys appreciate having some sort of limitation on the stuff you're doing?
I believe
As you kind of rein yourself in?
Yeah, I think it does
focus.
Help. Yeah. I think it definitely helps. I know while I haven't like stuck to only using, like 16-bit color or something like that,
Mhm.
I've definitely been very mindful of how many colors are used, because it definitely helps readability and like being able to understand what's going on in the animation. If there are just fewer colors, like the highlight things that you see, like on his legs, you see his feet, would be a different color, so you can kind of tell his feet move that like that.
Right.
It really helps.
It keeps them becoming muddy.
Mm-hmm. Really, really muddled, and you can't see what's going on. So some of that stuff like kind of continues because people realize, if we use too many colors and we're animating all crazy, it's too hard to read.
Mhm.
So kind of keeping those limitations definitely help.
Yeah. I was able to appreciate your use of color. So you have like 2 or 3, I guess, shades of a pixel color, and then you're able to use those in certain positions where they look like they're different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have one shade of a red next to a light, and it looks like a different shade of red than it would be if it was next to a dark color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
I
specifically
forget how it all went.
an optical illusion.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. I'm like, whoa!
Specifically with,
That's one color. That's
with
crazy.
making the legs work, where you have like the leg closest to you, has like the brightest highlight, and then a middle color, and then like the darkest color, and then there's just a little bit of that darkest color on that closest leg, and then on the farthest leg is almost completely that darker color, with the highlight being that middle color, but since it's laid out that way, it looks like it's a brighter highlight,
Mhm.
but it's not. It's crazy.
Cool. That's fascinating stuff. I think art's real cool. I got into a little bit. I got into like 3D modeling, and I dabbled in animation for a little while, but I never got into color composition and crazy things like that. Maybe one day, maybe I could take a class on it. Maybe something crazy like that.
The experimental with color was a big period of art for a while.
Yeah.
You, like one of the good tests is to take, like you were mentioning earlier, a red square
Mm-hmm.
and put it next to gray, then put it next to a dark blue, and then an average grayish color.
Mm-hmm.
And the red square is the exact same color in all 3 pictures, but when you look at it, you're like, well, that's not the same red. That's a totally different red. Or
Right.
It actually looks a little green now.
So then I guess you got to take, when you're doing that stuff, you got to like take the whole thing as a whole. You can't
It's
just
all-
be like,
It's all context.
yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, there's a lot of those like little optical illusions that have just a giant black square next to a giant white square, and in the middle of those two are just like a 50% gray circle, but one of the circles looks brighter than the
Yeah.
other, just because it's surrounded by all that color,
Right.
or black and white.
because your mind takes the context, and then you're like, whoa, look at that. But physically, it's the same color,
Mhm.
no matter what. But
Yeah.
just your way your vision destroys it.
It's like I was painting my room when I was living back home, and I had to pick out some colors, and my dad's like, you can't just look at a color. You have to put it up against every wall
Mm-hmm.
at
Yeah.
different times of the day to see just how all the light reflects on everything, and you get some kind of drastically different colors. I guess, well, not drastically, but different
Yeah.
shading.
When I painted my house, I went to Sherwin-Williams and asked for all their defected paint,
Uh-huh.
like their mist tints.
Yeah.
And I'm like, give me all the ones about this color shade.
Uh-huh.
They're like, here you go. I was like, perfect. Like, what are you going to do with all these paint? Mix them all together. So I had, at least about $200 for paint I got for $12 or something like that,
It's pretty good.
I had, like 5 paint cans for $4 a piece, whatever the math is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mixed them all together, stirred them up. I was like, looks like sand. All right.
Everything's gonna look like.
Yeah. So I painted it up on the wall, and during the bright light, it looks like sand, like a nice tan. And then when it gets right about dawn or early sunrise, it looks like flesh. It becomes real pink.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Whoa, this is really cool.
Living in Silent Hill.
It's not a bad color though. That light, it's still a good color because then I accidentally was a mossy green wall, so it all goes together.
I'll take your word.
Yeah, still gotta go and hang out at your house sometime.
Yeah, you gotta come over.
Yeah, see it.
Last night, speaking of my house, I was walking around the lake. Figure I'll go do it before the bugs get real bad. I was wrong. They're already bad.
They're already bad. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting there walking through the woods, and then a freaking crane jumped out of the bushes and scared the crap out of me. I was
Jesus.
like, where did you come from?
Like a big, like, bulldozing mechanical crane. Just like,
Yeah, like destroying my property.
Yeah. Are you lost?
No, it's like a stork looking thing. I don't know what they're called, but
Actual crane.
a big white bird.
That's pretty good.
I was walking right next. I didn't know it was there.
But, I got to play with Unity animation controllers past couple days. Which is
fun.
No. It's not the funnest thing to work with. Like, I guess it's okay because it's a big state machine, so you could say, like, here's a state, and all it does is play, this set of animations on loop, and then you can give transitions to other states and give them parameters. So it'd be like, if this bool is true, play running fast, or if like speed is greater than 0.1, run fast, or lower, walk slow, things like that. But our guy has so many things that can go to so many different other animations. The web of state machine transitions and everything just became exponentially complicated as things went on, and it was. So looking at that stuff, it's just it's just a big mess.
Well, look at the bright side. The hard part's out of the way.
That's true.
Because the aliens, we're calling them aliens now, they're going to be a lot more simpler. You don't have two parts, you have to...
A torso that can look in 16 directions
16
while doing all of those things.
Yeah, and sync up perfectly with each other.
Yeah,
you just have...
sense.
It would probably just go from attack state to walk state to animations to whatever other stuff you have to bug do.
Jump, walk,
sure.
run.
Yeah.
And
you're probably like, oh my god, this is so much better now.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely will be.
And even if we had just like a typical like platformer where you just had, walk, idle, jump, and like an attack, like it would be a little bit easier, but
Yeah, I'm sure in other cases it's a lot better to deal with. And even in this case, like, you can have this big web of, Unity state machine, or you can basically put all that and mix it into your code somewhere, which is something I don't appreciate. So
I guess it's better.
So part of me is glad, it's like Playmaker is good for that too, which is another visual scripting thing with it's another visual state machine thing, but I was using it for UI on one project, and all that. I tried doing it without Playmaker the first time, and I just had all these calls everywhere all the time. I had to worry about every button and things, and it just became a big mess in the code. So I just moved it all to state or Playmaker, and it just, that state machine maybe isn't the cleanest thing, but it helped clean up my code at least, which I appreciated a bunch. So, pros and cons to everything.
Oh yeah. Well, and the program uses draggable lines and stuff. You want to type.
Typing's so much better, because then you can just be like, I want this thing now, instead of having, trace all the arrows. I like just normal coding better. I can't get into the visual stuff.
Yeah, well,
Makes sense.
Classically trained.
It's true.
Yeah. It's like me going from the traditional material editor like 3ds Max or Lightwave to their new node-based system. You're like, whoa! What are all these lines? Because it's just like these visual state machines where you're dragging components and connecting them, feeding data into other ones. It's what the node editors for materials are now in these 3D programs.
Yeah.
But you can do a lot of crazy crap with them. When you're first making that transition from the old style to the new style, which you can still go to the old style, because if you're doing something simple, use the old one. But it's just at first, like, transition to something completely new and different. You're like, whoa, I am shocked.
That is surprising.
And you're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Good stuff. I think it's worth noting to anyone who's listening to this, we are doing a different, just real quick, I want to bring this up. We're using a different way of recording these things. So if it sounds a little different or worse than it was in the past, we're still kind of figuring out what the system should be.
Let us know.
Yeah. It shouldn't be too terrible, but it's maybe not as good as it was. Either way. And we also, Rachel was telling me we got a fan.
Get a fan?
Yeah. Just
cool.
one. Someone he knows. And I forgot his name, but he Polygon something. That's his Twitter handle. Who's apparently been going on Twitter, saying good things about us. So, thanks for that. I'm sorry I forgot your name, but I'm sure I'm sure you know who you are, and
I can look it up. He commented from our last podcast was the whole blue blood thing that Rachel was trying to push, and he commented to us on Twitter about it.
Yeah, he's like, rainbow blood all the way, which is even crazier.
Yeah,
but maybe.
Oh wait, did we finally solve the debate with colored blood we're using?
No.
Still up in the air.
I think we should probably just remove it because we're going for like a T rating anyway. But I don't know.
Let's put the marine blow up the crystals. It's happened to be blue.
Yeah.
He dies and he blows up into just a fully cooked chicken.
Oh, there's a game called Explosion Man.
Yeah.
A little indie game. It's pretty fun, but you're like this like science experiment, but you break loose and you're trying to get free. So there's all these scientists like running away from you throughout the levels, and if you run up to them and like explode, then they turn into like meat chunks, but not like giblets, but literally like a hunk of steak. Or like a chicken bone kind of thing, like they turn into like hunks of meat. It's pretty amusing.
Yeah.
Polygon Wizard.
Polygon Wizard.
Oh, you were close.
Yeah, I know it was Polygon something. Thanks for listening, man. Thanks for spreading the word in a way. What were you gonna say, Stevens?
There was a comedian. I listened to the comic station here to work, and a couple weeks ago there was a comedian talking about. I wish I remember the comedian's name, but it was something about taking video game characters from back in the day as they went to the doctor.
Right.
So I think it was the one from Streets and Rage. I can't remember the main character's name was, but in the game there's chicken and then there's drums and stuff. So the doctor's like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "Well." And then he's like, well, my stomach feels a little sore. He's like, why'd your stomach feel sore? Well, ate a whole chicken. What do you mean ate a whole chicken? Like, just consumed it. Gave me 3/4 of my life back, but now I'm a little upset. My stomach is.
I always like those in old games or the Turtles in Time kind of stuff. Where it's like a pizza and you just like pick it up and evidently devour the entire thing in 2 seconds. Yeah. That makes you feel so much better.
I really like that in BioShock Infinite because you can like go and if there's a garbage can, you can like press square or something, and then it opens the menu. Then you press square again, and you like just take everything and just consume instantly. And there's stuff like that, all the like suitcases and hat boxes and things, and so you can just go around just like mash the square button, and you just opening everything, gobbling everything. Just, like you can eat like oranges and booze and smokes and stuff. And so your health bar is just like going all over the place. It's crazy.
I like the smokes because it's just like we have a bad a thing of cigarettes, so just like shove them in your mouth. Because it like lowers your health but increases your salts or something like that or whatever. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
That sounds like a good one to play.
So you guys been playing anything? Anything cool? Seavers, anything? Any of them?
Always the Diablo 3 in the background. But I actually, just the other day, trying to convince my girlfriend to play Diablo 1. Because for some reason I had some, like, nostalgic feeling to play Diablo 1. Like, not even 2, but just 1. Because it was one of the first games I, like, completed from, like, 100% of the game kind of thing.
Right.
And it's, like, only 15 levels. It's super simple. It's almost, in a sense, Hive Jumpy, where there's just the 15 levels. You go down, you kill Diablo, the queen, and, you can do it again if you want. There's really nothing else to do after that. But really, really fun and enjoyable. And I know my girlfriend really likes, like, customization in games and stuff. Yeah, it looks pretty terrible. But, like, there's so little customization in that game that there's a bunch of armors you can get, but there's only, it only changes your visuals, 3 times.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you could, be wearing, this, massive helmet, but it doesn't show up on your character at all. Kind of stuff like that. It's just...
That's kind of what we're kind of doing with Cyber.
But yeah, so this is just kind of trying to get it to work. Like, installing it and running it was fine, but trying to get the multiplayer to function is just, a nightmare.
I imagine.
I'm pretty sure networking doesn't work the same way it did 15 years ago.
Yeah, it can't find any modems or anything or any computers
It's looking for a dial-up connection.
There's an option for dial-up, but because the old Battle.net stuff's just gone now. But yeah, other than that, a lot of little... some mobile games, playing Clash of Clans.
Yep.
Me and Stevens.
We're in a clan together.
Breaking stuff, beating up people. It's a fun little game to look at once a day.
Yeah.
Because that's what it turns into.
Well, I recently started playing it, so that the first, day and a half, you got a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's I hit my buttons once a day, and then attack somebody twice a day.
That's kind of how it goes. You just wait for your resources to generate enough so you can build more things.
Can't wait till we get in a war with another clan, though.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I want to see what it's like. It's a whole part of the game we haven't tried yet.
Yeah.
If Steve isn't started, I probably will. He'll probably kick me out the clan.
See, I don't know how it works. It'll probably take my brother as the clan leader.
Yeah.
Or chieftain to start a war. But yeah.
That's good. I've been playing some Metal Gear Solid again. I just, on a whim, felt like playing that again.
The first one?
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. It still holds up, man.
Can you go into the box in the first one?
What do you mean?
Oh,
yeah.
Hide in the box?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there's 3 different boxes or something.
A game was probably just let's play a game where you just sneak around a box and just we'll do the rest of the game around it. That was a good game. I used to play that one a lot. Not the one. I think I played 2.
2, yeah. On PS2.
Yeah, because I didn't have a PS1 when I was a kid. So
right. Yeah, 2 was good. I actually had a hankering to play 2, and I had a hankering to play 4 again. But I felt like I can't just play those. You gotta lead up to it. You gotta play through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. I feel like maybe they don't work quite as well separately than they do just all at once. But
so that's your plan.
Yeah.
There's a good month or so.
Yeah,
pretty much
longer than a month actually.
Yeah,
Back in the day, games took a lot longer.
Well, I'm 8 hours in this one. I'm on the Metal Gear boss fight. So after that, then there's just the liquid boss fight, and then there's an escape sequence, and then the game's over. So there's that. But yeah, that game's awesome. I love that game. I love that whole series. It's great.
Yeah, that's a series I've kind of just missed.
Mm-hmm.
I think I played the first one and a little bit, and was oh, this is neat. I think my brother rented it or something, and then I was just oh.
No, you missed out. Yeah, I haven't played any of the new ones, but 2 was fantastic.
Yeah, 2 is real great. 3 is probably my favorite. 3 is probably the best. But 4 is pretty good. They're all pretty good. Except for Portable Ops, which is a PSP one. That one's pretty bad.
I've never played a PSP game ever, actually.
I got a couple. PSP was alright.
It's like a handheld PS2.
Yeah.
It's pretty
I hear good things.
My brother had one. Played Dinosaur Wars on it and stuff.
Here you can hack it and make it do everything. like media center kind of
You used to. I don't think you can anymore because it's all connected to like their online stuff. So you actually don't have like carts anymore. It's all like digital downloads. Oh. But the old ones you could. It was like you could hack it and just have like I think you could run Windows on it or something random. You know, like you could just like run whatever and
Linux or something.
Just like watch movie. Just it was just a giant USB with a screen kind of thing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, the PS3 was like that too. You can like put Linux on it, something like a whole OS, and just run it like a normal computer.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? Should have gotten a PS3. I bought Xbox. This whole deal. I go over it all the time in my head on a daily basis. I regret my purchase of an Xbox 360. But that's okay. Okay.
You can't watch Netflix.
I can't without paying monthly for my Netflix subscription, my internet subscription, and then Xbox Live on top of that just to watch Netflix. No.
I can build you a computer the size of a small book that does all that.
Yeah. Well, I have one of those, but I use it for other stuff too.
You talk amongst yourself real quick.
Oh gosh,
You leaving us?
I just want to fix this door.
Okay.
Because it's not done right.
Yeah. But the Xbox One is a pretty cool media center.
Yeah. Even the Xbox 360 had some good stuff. Like, I had connected it to my computer so I could watch stuff on my shared drive. It was pretty cool, But the only issue was it only works with, like, AVI files, and that's like it. And everything has to be that way. And I have a whole bunch of old, like, just episodes of stuff that are just not AVIs. It's sad. It makes me sad.
Yeah, even the PS3 had that problem, too. Speaking of new gen systems, the Xbox One had their sports update where you can actually get your face scanned with their Kinect.
Mm-hmm.
I look like Despicable Me. The main character.
Nice.
I was like, oh my god, it made me bald and give me a pointy nose. Like a villain. And then my roommate got scanned in and he looks like a generic surfer.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I recommend just trying that like at the store or something like that. Just get yourself scanned, see what you look like.
You guys want to talk about some news?
Yeah, bring up some news.
Sure. I have nothing prepared.
Wing it.
Except for Omega Red and Alpha Ruby.
New Pokemon
or
games.
Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby. They're remaking some Pokemon games again.
Oh, cool.
Bringing Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire to the 3DS.
Are they bringing it into 3D mode or just doing a direct port?
It'll probably update graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
It'll probably be on the X and Y engine or something.
Yeah,
Because that 3D Pokemon game looked pretty sharp.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, this the GBA Pokemon ones to the 3DS.
Oh yeah, how about Twitch beats Pokemon again?
Yeah, they're playing. What are they playing now? X and Y? No, not X and Y. Black and White.
Black and White, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. David would know.
Hey, they got Pixel Press on Kotaku. They got an article.
Yeah, they just released.
Really?
Like last week or something.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten it yet. They have a free version. Well, because it's just on iPad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
so
know.
yeah, I can't get it on my phone or anything.
But yeah, they're a St. Louis developer who, their app is like you draw a level on a piece of paper, then you like take a picture of it with your phone, and then it makes a game level out of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or it's almost like a little like they have different ones, but I think this first one they're doing is the Floors one, which is just like the platformer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a platformer editor, game editor, and you can like build your level even if you don't like take the picture of the drawn paper. You can like build it in the engine and then play the level or share it with your friends and things like that. So it's just like a little game editor where you can make a little platformer. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I'll have to check it out at some point.
Yeah, we need to get it on the iPads.
Yeah. Download and try it out.
This, I guess, just showed up today. New Soul Calibur game but it's not a fighting game. It's a
Really? Like an RPG?
It's a. Here, I'm gonna let you guess. Keep guessing.
Is it a
FPS?
RTS?
No.
Is it a MOBA?
If anything, I could see.
No, not a MOBA.
If anything, I could see him turning into like an actual RPG Diablo style game.
Is it a
That
sim?
kind of makes sense, but not quite.
Not quite.
Is it a dating sim?
MMO? Is it an
I
MMO?
wish. It's no MMO.
Oh man, what could it be? Oh.
Is it like a
Is it
Bejeweled puzzle game?
what?
It's a trading card game.
Oh, that's odd. I guess everyone needs one, right?
I guess.
Who owns that? Is that Konami or something?
That is Namco.
Namco. So Namco is going to have everybody's got to have one.
I guess.
It's the hot thing right now. It's
What is it? What was it?
trading card game.
Trading card.
Oh, a trading card
So
game.
like Hearthstone and stuff's all big right now. So
I mean, it's super successful.
It's
super,
the new MOBA.
I guess
MOBA's more
it's going to
successful
be.
now. Everyone's switching to trading card games.
Yeah, dude, I love trading card games. I'm a big tabletop player.
Yeah, the Might and Magic one. They have one, right?
Yeah, they have. Well, it's a PC one.
Mhm.
It's
What's it
digital, you know.
Yeah,
Clash of Heroes.
Clash of Heroes.
I think.
That they made their own little
I think
trading
that's what
card
it's
game.
called. It was actually pretty good. You're not mana dependent. You get
Mhm.
resources every round.
Mm.
It's kind of like the World of Warcraft
Yeah,
one.
the Hearthstone.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know it was as big of a.
Didn't quite see
universe
that
to
coming.
Get one.
Yeah.
I didn't either. Well, it's got is there 6 of them now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good. I like it. As far
I
as
like them
fighting
too,
games
yeah.
go, they're some of my
Oh,
favorites because you actually have like weapons and stuff. Like,
They are my favorite fighting game. It's a button masher, and I love them.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
And then it's Tekken.
So there's that piece of news. Another piece I just saw right now. It was, on the PlayStation 4, on the controller, it's got that little light beam.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And everyone's like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. It shines on my TV. This is so terrible. But Sony just announced what that's actually for, and it has to do with VR stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of VR stuff?
So like knowing where your controller is, kind of a thing, like a Wiimote-ish kind of stuff. Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can pull up the article. But Sony announced their Oculus kind of headset thing.
Mm.
So I guess they're doing a whole VR push, and I don't quite know.
So if I get the headset, I don't have to have a TV to play my PlayStation. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
I could lay down my bed.
I wonder how that's going to affect our vision.
I'll probably kill it.
That kind of stuff. Like if you're just in an Oculus Rift, 6 hours a day or something playing video games. I wonder if that transition will hurt.
Why would you ever want to leave it?
Right.
I like seeing World HD.
Yeah, I've been watching this anime called Sword Art Online, which is pretty neat. It's big VR, mega Oculus Rift, except ×2, where it actually goes into your nerves and tells your brain what's going on. So you literally go into the game and you can move around and do everything, because it's anime, and it's pretty cool. But I know we wouldn't necessarily jump to that quickly to give up the privacy of someone actually jacking into our head. That's going to take a while before
Give it a year.
right.
They can download stuff into your head. Did you watch that video I sent you about living with lag? I was wearing Oculus Rift on your head and performing everyday duties as computer lag.
Right.
They were cooking breakfast, which was hilarious. They could not function.
You figure those people burn their hands or something because they wear the Rift, but they put a setting on it so it's lag. There's a camera in front of the Rift, and all that feed gets sent back, but it's laggy. So they're trying to reach for eggs, but they don't know how far to put their hands.
Mm-hmm. They keep overshooting or undershooting. They're trying to pour something into a glass, and they're moving their hand. They think they should be there, but there's lag, so they start doing it too soon because they're trying to anticipate.
Or they're playing ping pong and they just sat there and then they swung.
Yeah.
Just impossible. But yeah, the article doesn't say exactly what the light is used for, other than just for tracking for VR.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's something that the PlayStation Move. It's got that little ball on it with a light, and the camera tracks like depth and movement of that.
It'd be kind of cool if it was like an Oculus Rift kind of like airplane thing where you like tilt the controller as to like how you fly or something.
Yeah.
You lift up and lift down. I mean, that would be kind of neat.
It'd be something.
Dig it, but who knows?
Bumper 1, bumper 2 of your flaps.
Pretty good. Yeah, they could maybe put those balls, those glowy balls, on like the glasses part of their VR thing, and it'll be like track IR, which like is able to tell like
How close
forward and back motion and depth and all that stuff.
That'd be cool.
And that'd be the whole package.
I can't wait until I'd really love to play like Oculus was probably getting pretty cool for like airplane games and stuff like that. Like like when you're on like a track or something like that. But that would be really cool when it goes like super arcade and you're playing like like Crimson Sky style or something, like where you're just like shooting like just cartoon rockets all over the place and like going way faster than you're supposed to be, or like space battles or something. And that thing would be so cool.
Bring back
So it
Pod
starts
Racer.
going crazy. Yeah, like crazy awesome.
Awesome.
I'd be way into that.
Stuff like that would be really intense. I think would be cool. Because right now there's lots of just like sitting on a track while you like look around. It'd be awesome when you're just like shooting crazy stuff all over, locking on to other planes and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, man, it'd be great. That thing in like Star Citizen or something.
Yeah.
It's just a natural transition. Our buddies in Unreal, or not Unreal, Epic Games, our old friends in Epic, are teasing something, calling it the Future of Unreal Tournament. They haven't actually announced it yet, but they got this thing.
It's official, like.
It's just the logo.
Oh, it's a real tease.
Maybe a new Unreal Tournament game. Maybe
That'd be awesome, actually.
Yeah, I could do that.
I dig those games.
In this
They're
day and
good.
age.
Pick up and play for a little bit, I never did the campaign on them,
I wonder how if they'll incorporate more of the. I haven't played the most recent ones. Have you played
though. 3 is the newest one I played.
Yeah,
do those
okay,
do you take damage and then you hide behind a box and regen your health kind of thing, or are they still old
I
school?
die too
No.
quickly to notice.
No,
They're still old school.
they're pretty
style?
old school, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it'll be cool. It'll be nice if they keep with that,
Mhm.
but I have a feeling they probably won't just go all of them are this, that way nowadays.
Put an ACOG scope on your
Yeah,
biogun or whatever.
Yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see how they.
Yeah, someone should call Ben and see what they're up to. We'll get him on here. We'll be a live thing.
That'd be cool.
Why not?
Well, we'll get the inside scoop. He won't know that we're recording a conversation. Be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, what's the future of Unreal?" It's a MOBA now, or no, it's a card game.
Right.
Whatever I asked for.
So that's exciting stuff.
Speaking of exciting stuff, I saw it was on one of those new tech YouTube channel things, a digital cutting board where you cut your food on it, and it tells you how much your stuff weighs and portion size.
Does it tell you how many calories are in it?
No.
Oh, see, that's what you really need.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool. It was like, this is a pound of beef. This is a half pound of beef.
Might be pretty good, especially if you're like baking and everything needs to know how much things weigh.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't have no scale anywhere. So how am I supposed to know how much a pound of flour
Now
is?
you have a digital, and they had like the recipe up on the.
They have weight things on the iPad.
Do
You
they?
can just throw your
I'll
steak
just
right
pour
on there. Yeah,
a
Do they
bunch
have
of
weight
flour
on
on
the
the...
I'm pretty sure. I feel like you can tell how hard you're pushing on it. I think. I don't think they're very accurate.
Yeah.
But I think they exist.
Real quick, what was that anime you're talking about? Sword Art
Sword Art
Online?
Online.
Is that on Netflix?
It is.
Is that any good?
Yeah, I liked it. It's pretty good. I think I'm on the second season now. I think the first season was a little bit better. It was the cool thing was, so the whole idea was that they were in this VR MMO, and in the first season, they get in. There's like 4,000 people in the first the first hour. Everyone who logs in, the owner of the whole game is like some crazy psycho guy, and he doesn't let anyone else on and tells them that they're now in a coma and they can't log out, and if they die in game, they die in real life.
Huh.
And so it's like, okay, now
Is that true, or is he just telling them that?
No, yeah.
Oh,
At
okay.
first, you're not sure, so everyone's like, do we worry about it or not?
Uh-huh.
But everyone starts going crazy, and getting into their different groups, and some of them are like player killers, and they just want to be the ones that are left alive, kind of stuff. But the goal is like, if you beat the game, then those people stay alive. So it like dwindles down. They end up playing for like 2 years that they're in this game. Some people end up dying just randomly because like they died in real life. A lot of them get shoved to a hospital, and they're like fed by IVs and all kinds of stuff to keep them alive while they're playing.
I see.
And in the second one, or in the end of the first season, they beat the game, but like another company, the company went bankrupt because of all the lawsuits of all this stuff that happened from the original people, and this other company like takes it over and like starts a new game, but it's basically the same thing. But it's pretty interesting. The first season was definitely better, and now the second season is like some people were still trapped, so they're going back into it to try to save them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I finished watching something called Michiko and Hatchin, which is it's an anime. It's by Cowboy Bebop guy.
Yeah.
He produced it, and then someone he wrote those shows with was the director on it. And it's pretty good. It's about this young girl, and she's living with this abusive family, and then this sexy Brazilian lady comes busting in, guns blazing, and she kind of rescues her, and they go on this trip to find the little girl's dad, because the Brazilian lady, was her ex-boyfriend or whatever, and she really likes him for whatever reason, and the guy like faked his death. Like, it was like 11 years ago, there was some explosion that he was in, and so everyone thought he was dead. But the little girl is 10 years old, so there's, obviously some disconnect. So they go on this crazy Brazilian adventure through mafia stuff and crazy stuff. It's really cool. It's very stylized. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not on Netflix, so you'd have to find a DVD of it.
Nah. It's too hard.
Yeah. But that's all the news I had. Unless I'm forgetting something, which I probably am. So let's move on to Steam Greenlight comments.
Ooh, yay!
I talked about these on the last podcast, but Steam Hive Jump got greenlit, which is exciting news. So let's get into it. Here's Gorbulon. Says, yes, Hive Jumpy has been greenlit.
Hive Jumpy.
So sold on this. Don't care if my friends do not want to play, or I do not even beat the game or come close. Cannot wait to play.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
That's a good endorsement.
That's a good review.
Me too. I agree with all those things.
Yeah.
Kinja says, that's very good to hear. Looking forward to seeing what you guys do with the single player part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're still kind of up in the air, I guess, with what we're going to do with single player.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
know
know we're focusing on...
We're focused on the main game loop right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of just want this, like, the act of going into a hive and finishing a hive. We're working on that right now, but as far as, what you're doing outside of that, any part on the ship, that's still up in the air.
Yeah, we want to make sure that like the normal game loop going down, killing aliens and winning the game that way is still like fun on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And then any kind of like single player or like big networked multiplayer thing would just like be icing on top of that cake, since that's the main content of the game.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone here is pretty for some sort of like character interaction on the ship.
Oh yeah,
like talking to people, getting backstory, things like that.
like persistent rewards kind of things.
We should all be in there somewhere. Like, which one?
Engineer Matt Stevens.
I don't know about engineer. I was thinking more like lead torturer of bug. Science officer. I want to be a science officer.
Yeah, science
officer. No,
or quotes.
Definitely not alien torturer. Be a little PC on that.
Yeah.
I know when we were first talking about this, I pitched the idea of doing some sort of like grand strategy alongside it. So you like zoom in on a bug planet, and there's like it's like a big grand map with all the dots for all the hives, and you go to a hive, and then once you beat that hive, it becomes like your territory, and so you have to do like it wouldn't be like total war or anything. You just like kind of populate it with like, okay, we need more turrets here or something, and then every time you go in or out of a hive, like there'll be updates to that map, like bug attacks and stuff.
It's very much like like the XCOM game that came out recently.
Yeah,
where you kind of there's the world and you're trying to neutralize the alien threats, and you can like reinforce them with like satellite weapons to like keep them safer, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then they get taken back over, and you have to go like fix it,
reclaim them, and then make sure they're fortifying it.
Definitely something we'd love to do.
I thought that'd be cool. It's kind of, I guess, bigger in scope. So we'll see where we're at.
It's like
when we finish this main loop. But I'm pulling for it.
I'm pulling for it too.
Good.
Kind of wonders are we the good guys or the bad guys?
Who knows?
Gotta kill these aliens, man. They're everywhere. It's always the case.
You're like, what did they do to us?
Hiding all the unobtainium.
Yeah, unobtainium. Yeah. Those goo crystals.
Kinja had a comment before her other one. It said, so if I understand correctly, it's multiplayer only, right? If so, no offense, but I'll pass. Indie multiplayer games have a frequency to die off fast. Did we read this one last podcast?
Yeah, you did.
I wasn't in the last podcast.
Yep, I listened to it.
Oh, okay.
We did.
So I don't need to answer it then.
Yay!
No, it's not multiplayer only. Just
FYI.
right there. Yeah. It will be single player. And even our multiplayer, we're going to try and make it not die off so quickly. So. Smash Clash says, wow! Looks a lot like Terraria. I vote yes. 10 out of 10. Thanks a lot, Smash Clash.
Yeah, Terraria was massively successful, so...
Yeah.
No complaints there.
Yeah.
Good legacy to live up to. Do we do this one from Mare Apple? When we'll be able to buy on Steam? It's hard not to spend my money.
Yes.
End of the year, right?
Do we?
Yeah, hoping for end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what we're targeting. If later, maybe beginning of next year, if we don't make it by the end of the year.
Well, I guess we didn't have very many new Steam Greenlight comments.
Did we get any emails?
No, we didn't. But if you want to send an email, go ahead and send it to, right now, just go to info@graphitelab.com, and I will look through it. I will read it on the show. We'll answer questions. If you have any questions about us, about the game, about the studio, anything at all, email it to us. We'll talk about it on the show. And, gosh, it looks like that's going to be the end of the show. End of this episode.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for sitting in with me.
No problem.
Thank you all for listening out there. I'd like to thank President Obama.
We should do shout-outs to our moms.
Yeah, Mother's Day this
Yeah,
weekend.
Mother's Day this weekend. Take care of your mom this weekend.
Hi, Mom. I know you're listening.
Hi, Mom. I'll get you a tomato plant.
I mailed my mom a card, and it was this big, like one of those things where you open it, and it's like stuff pops out, and it sings a song.
Nice.
And it's huge. And I mailed it, and then I got a text from my dad today, and he's like, I had to pay $2 to get that letter you sent. Because I didn't know you had to send extra postage on it.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So again, thanks, moms, for doing the things you do. And I guess we'll see everybody next week on Indie Dev.